Today we're going to turn this into this. But before we start, we have to make plans on how we're going to accomplish this. And with that, I use Woodturner Pro software. There's several mathematical dimensions you have to know to get the exact diameter of circle you need. And Woodturner Pro software allows you to put in one or two dimensions, and that will build the vessel for you as far as the dimensions are concerned. Right now, I'm cutting the wood for the row number 2, which is the first open segmented row. And I got to do this 552 times before the project is complete. It's kind of boring, kind of monotonous, but every cut is very important. Stick around, I'll show you how I build the vessel. I'm sure that this is not the only way to build one, but this is how I have done. I'm putting this vessel is made out of walnut, maple, a couple pieces of red oak, and bloodwood, which is what I am cutting right now. When I glue these on, the new open segment jig that I built, and I will show you um, down below, I'll make a link to the video that I made on this jig. I use the thick and quick glue. I glue it in there just like that up against the back part where my finger's at, and it gives me the exact diameter of the ring that has to be made. Put a little bit of glue on, spread it around, and with this tight bond thick and quick, it's very quick. So just have to hold it down just a short time and on to the next piece. 24 times for each ring. Then once that is set, I move it to the next hole in the indexing ring. Like I say, 24 times, and I've got one ring. And this vessel has 23 open segmented rings, or actually 22 with the top ring as a closed segment ring. So stick around, it's going to be pretty boring. I'll speed things up here a little bit, and we'll go through this pretty quick. Got a 3/4 inch piece of MDF I've had for quite some time, and it does a lot of good clamping jobs. And with this, I just put up some shelf liner, put it in between here, and just run it right up against there. Put a little bit of pressure on it. It's supposed to be a 1/2 inch, so what we're going to do is turn this down to a 1/2 inch and sand them flat. And looking good, looking good. I think there's about 20 rings in this project. Once I get the final segment placed, then I can take it off and again take it to the lathe to get the ring smoothed out and leveled for the next ring. I got 3 done. Now I've got 5. Does take time. 9 layers, 9 rings, and 13 rings completed now. You can tell it's starting to take shape. This lamp is starting to take a little bit of shape, and we will get the uh, gouge sharpened before we go on to smoothing and leveling out the ring 13. Doing these open segment, we have to keep a very sharp gouge because they're air and air and wood constantly on the turning as you level them down. Before you can sand them, they have to be perfectly level. Here I am with the one-way Wolverine jig with the CBN wheel. And it looks kind of confusing. I thought it was kind of confusing, but once you get used to sharpening these on that one-way jig, it's very easy. That's the easiest one I've found, and I've used a couple different ones, but this one way, the Wolverine jig, is the best I've found. You got to take it very easy now so we can get the layer perfectly flat. And then after we get that flat with the gouge, we'll sand it with the flat board with 100 grit sandpaper attached to the board. And once we get that, we're ready for the next ring. But each ring has to be perfectly flat before we can even think about putting the next layer on there. After I get done with the gouge, as you'll see, I will take a piece of chalk and chalk all of the segments. Then once I get the segments chalked, then I'll take the sanding board to it, and it'll get perfectly flat for the next layer. Just like all the rest of them, got to get some chalk on there to make sure I got a flat ring for the next layer. And I can tell this one isn't flat, but it will be before we're done. It certainly will be. And I am going to once we get the next layer glued on and get it put in the lathe for clamping, I usually cut a couple more rings. I go 2, 3, 4 at a time, and that way I'll have something to do for about the next 10 minutes that it takes for the all of the segments to set up before I flatten them out again for the next ring. We are finally into final turning. Just getting done with the top. I seem to lost some of the video. Once we get this smoothed out, we'll go into final sanding of the lamp base, and we will put 3 coats. Ended up putting 3 coats of tried and true Danish oil on this. It gives it sort of a matte finish, and it looks really nice. I like the matte rather than the shiny finish that lacquer gives. Uh, if we would like to have you subscribe to our channel, please like, subscribe, and share, and also push the thumbs up so you see any new notifications of when I get new videos up. We appreciate your time that you've spent listening to us and watching the video. Uh, we're still kind of new, so please help us out. Here is a look in the house of the lamp sitting on the end table. We did put some lights on the inside, which beautiful at nighttime. Hey, thanks for joining us in this journey. And like I say, like, subscribe, and click that thumbs up button. Good day.